Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution. Where's my shirt? Oh, there we go. Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution. Oh, my voice sounds like I stayed out too late last night. What is up? Good morning. I am Tardy. We had my wife's awards ceremony for her real estate company, and a big to do at the Monona Terrace. And going into it, I'm like, so what's like I'd never been, like, usually it's my wife and my mother-in-law, they would go do their thing. And I'll stay home, eat pizza. And this year she's like, husbands and wives are going. Do you want to go? I'm like, yeah, yeah, I want to get out of the house, talk to other people. So I'm like, what's dress code? Like, what? Like, is it suit and tie? Is it jeans and a button down? Like, what is it? She's like, well, it's not jeans, but you don't have to wear a tie. I'm like, oh, thank God. I hate wearing a tie. So I did wear like a suit, and like I don't know how to dress up because I wear jeans, the same pair of jeans 10 days in a row. Like I have dress clothes. They may not be fit me anymore. So I think I got this suit for something. There was a reason. But it was probably a year ago. I'm trying to think of when I would have wore it. I might have wore it to no, I didn't wear it to that. I wore it to something maybe a year ago, and I'm like, shit, it's probably not gonna fit me. So I tried it on yesterday and it fit. I'm like, hey, I could even button the jacket. I'm like, all right, I can drink some beer tonight. So, but then I'm getting dressed, and I'm like, what do I do? But I like not wearing a tie because it takes like all the guesswork, because I cannot match ties with colors, and my wife can't do that either. So she's like, well, let me send it to my mom. Send a picture of the tie and the shirt combo. And then I've got like blazers that are like patterned. It's like, shit, I've got all these patterns. Which way do they go? Mark Marinello. I need to call Mark. That's what I need to do. So this was easy, no tie, and it's like just a regular navy blue suit. So I could wear anything I want. So I went with a white and blue pattern shirt. Now I wear as you can see, I wear undershirts. It's just what I do. I wear undershirts under t-shirts most of the time. I don't know why. It's just what I do. So back in like my younger days, I would rock the no undershirt, no tie, and I'd have it like buttoned down, like I was cool, and I wasn't. I don't do any of that. I don't do that anymore. Because I'm old. And uh so it's like, so I had it, and I like unbuttoned, and I think in the photo, there's a photo of my top half on Hobby Evolution on Facebook. And somebody commented like, you need to go one more button. And that's exactly like my wife. She goes, you need to do one more button. And then she's like, and your undershirt needs to come down. Like, you can see too much of your undershirt. I'm like, I just need a tank top, T-top. I know what they call them. They call them WBs. They call them wife beaters. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but I don't know what the real name is. So that was my dress up night. So we get there, and so my wife's kind of downplaying it. And we get there, and it's like, this is the prom for realtors. Like, this is freaking prom. Like, the women are wearing like ball gowns. It's like a debutante ball. I'm like, holy shit. The first few dudes were wearing ties, and I'm like, man. But I don't care. Like I was dressed up enough to where I didn't feel dressed down. So it's a good night. Got to talk to people. You get drink tickets, which is nice. Even better, so you get 2 drink tickets with your name tag, and my wife doesn't drink, so I get her 2 drink tickets, and her friend, part of her office that was at our table, she's pregnant, so she didn't use her drink tickets. It's like I'm swimming in drink tickets, spotted cow all night. The food was okay. The food was just okay. There's prime rib and chicken. The prime rib was I did a piece of both. I just filled my plate. I didn't care. The prime rib was I'm glad I got the chicken was better. The chicken was okay. It was basically because it was buffet style and it tasted like a buffet style meal. Who like and that's coming from me. Like who am I like who are you to judge prime rib and chicken at a fancy gathering when I eat Hot Pockets? Listen to me judging the food. So the awards was okay. Moved rather swiftly. So there were some speeches. Some were longer than others. Some were much funnier than others. Tommy's a great dude. He's in my wife's office, and so he was their team was the top in the entire state. So he gave the speech, and it was his speech, and he's very colorful, and the realtor obviously. So he has kind of an SNL skit vibe to him. And he's got the northern accent. Very entertaining. And his speech was very entertaining. And me and another guy, one of the husbands were talking about this. It's like, it was kind of like an SNL skit. Like, this is how Saturday Night Live would do a real estate award ceremony speech. Like he nailed it. So it was a good time. The Monona Terrace is very nice. And I'm like, people always ask, you need a bigger space for the Madison Card Show and do a big show. And it's like, I don't want to do a big show. Like my show's big enough for me. But it's always like and the funny thing is, when we first got there, I was talking with the, he like heads up the region. So he's like the boss of, so the group, the real estate company is divided up into, I think, 3. South Central is basically Madison. And then Southeast is Milwaukee. And then North is just everything up there. The rest of the state. And I think there's an office in Michigan, in the Wisconsin part of Michigan, way up north. So the guy who runs this region, him and I were talking when we got there and talking about the venue. And I'm like, yeah, this is a really nice venue. And so they like rotate. So last year, the North region hosted and they had it at Lambeau Field. 2 years ago, the Milwaukee region hosted, and it was somewhere in Milwaukee. So when Madison hosts, it's like, where do you put it in Madison? Because there's not many event spaces that are big. You've got the Alliant Energy Center and the Monona Terrace. That's about it for like this large of a gathering. So I'm looking around and I'm like, and there's a lot of different spaces in the Monona Terrace, but my thought would be it's expensive. So one of the bugaboos I have about the Alliant Energy Center, the price is pretty ridiculous, but also they charge for parking, which is okay if it's reasonable, but it's $8 for parking. So when we were leaving, I asked my wife, I'm like, check to see what parking is, because that's kind of like, I want to see how it compares. It was $16 to park. And it's like, and we were there, and that's like a Thursday night from what time? 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's like, how much are you going to pay to park on a Saturday? I don't know. Maybe it's the same rate for 8 hours. Like, fuck. So check that off the list. But it's fun. Like, it's funny now that, you go into these event spaces and it's like, I'm envisioning like, wow, okay, this is a pretty big space. You could get a lot of tables in here. But then I'm thinking, okay, what's parking? How's the load in? Where do you load in? What's the load in process? And the Monona Terrace is not like the Sheraton is easy. Like you got 2 load ins. Shit, the new State Street Ballroom that we added is right there. You can load in right from the parking lot. So easy. Not so at some of these other spaces. So that was my night. I don't think, other than that, it was just a award ceremony event. George is in the house. What's going on? Joe Trotto, what's up? Top of the morning. Happy Friday. George says, you're going to have the wrath of LRS, but I fixed it, though, because I made the time. I adjusted the time and set it for 7:30. So I was actually early according to the timestamp because I set the timestamp for 7:30. That's what Low Roller Scratcher goes by. We've done 1,122 episodes now, and I go live Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. And I'll go on at 6:59, and he says I'm late because the timestamp says 6:54 because that's when I create the video, and I just never change it. George is about to get in the dark room and cut some paper and load some film holders. James is here. He wants the crypto update. Where's Low Roller Scratcher? I'm sure he's here. Talking Tatis. Breaking news. Low Roller Scratcher changing his name to High Roller Scratcher. Bitcoin to the moon. I don't know where it's at this morning. I haven't looked. Harlan's in the house. Good morning. David is here. What's happening? Shane, good morning. John Larson, what's up? I went to school. Did I talk about this? I went to school with a John Larson. Talking Tatis. Shohei got married and nobody knew. I F-bombing love that. The anti-Kelsey. Yeah, that was the baseball news. Shohei Ohtani, just the Dodgers didn't even know. Like, what happened? Brian, good morning. My son turned 6 on Wednesday. Should I spend $20 on a card he wants and will enjoy, or is that too much for a young kid? I don't think there's a dollar value on what's too much. Like, I see 6-year-olds carrying around $1,000 cards at the Madison Card Show. One of my friends, and I think 6 or 8, 9 years old, but I don't think he's double digits yet. He pulled a Zion back, like a rookie year Zion, like Genesis or something. And it was like a $10,000 card, and like an 8-year-old had it. So in that scenario, I don't think $20 is too much, but maybe if he's only been used to getting dime cards and quarter cards, maybe that's a steep climb. I think it's just based on your own thoughts. I don't think anybody else can decide that. I want to talk about one thing that did come up at various times last night. Was I want to share my thoughts on the hobby when it comes to normal people. And when I speak of normal people that don't collect cards, people that are not us, that are like listening to YouTube content about baseball cards, people that don't realize that they still make them. Because I had quite a few conversations about that. Talking Tati. Oh, Red Light 34 says, smash the like button anyways, even though I was late for class today. Quantity over quality at 6, Brian. Get as many cards as possible so he can play with them and learn. A great age to start. Card care is a few years down the road. Enjoy the journey. Joe Olivo, what's up? Good morning. Brian appreciates that advice. He has he has had some care issues, so I do like graded cards for him. There you go. And I guess some 6-year-olds may take very good care of their cards. Some 6-year-olds, when I was 6 years old, they were like, my bedroom floor looked like this. There were cards all over the place. So I think that's like, I think it's each. I don't think there's a one size fits all to it. I don't think there's a one size fits all. Art Green, good morning. Day off from work, so I'm hitting a weekday card show in Michigan. Time to stock up. Oh, so a Friday. So it must be a multi-day show, like a Friday, Saturday, or Friday through Sunday. Good morning, Philly Joe. Brian says, Art, that sounds like a good day off. Hope you find something worth your time. Brian Wolf, I had my 10 and 11-year-old look up their Pokemon prices, put a few $30 ones in top loaders. 10 minutes later, they were out and on the floor. Hope your kid enjoys them more. Talking Tatis, how's the weather in the 215? Good morning, Andy Mack. Philly Joe says it's about 40 degrees colder than yesterday. We're back on the positive swing. It's still cold, but we're warming up. Mikey's in the house. Good morning. Tom Coleman, what's up? East Coast Tom is here. Good morning. Porter is here. Good morning. Don't forget the like button. Thank you, sir. Andy Mack is heading to the NFL Combine this weekend. Very cool. Tom doesn't feel tardy. It's a mindset. Max says, good morning. Waiting at Quick Trip to make a sale this morning, starting the weekend off strong. I love that. I need to get rid of my bulk. My bulk guy is like, he's done. He's like, I got too much. I don't need any more. So I have to take some. So yesterday I was, and this usually turns out for the positive for me when I have to organize and clean. So I have to take some photos for some upcoming things that you'll soon learn about. And so I've got to like make my space presentable and get some good photos. And my card room, you've seen, I did a walkthrough video a few weeks ago, is a disaster. And so I spent yesterday afternoon doing that. But I found a box that I found a few Jordans. I found some Kobe's. I found some LeBrons. I'm like, oh shit, there's some good stuff in here. So I did find some decent stuff. I found some boxes that kind of like when I found the Bradshaw. By the way, the Terry Bradshaw rookie that I found in a random at the bottom of a junk wax box, along with a stack of other early 70s football cards. The Bradshaw rookie sold for $110. How about that for a find underneath some 89 Fleer? So I've got a couple other boxes from Goodwill that I just haven't, that look in the same order as those. So I just kind of like dug around, but it's kind of like when I do that, it's almost like an archaeological dig, because you don't want to just go in with two hands and ruffle up in case there's a Terry Bradshaw rookie in there. So you've got to be careful. So that was my afternoon. Brian to Brian. That is frustrating, but I suppose that is kids. Mikey wants to know how my sales are going. Mine have been kind of up and down. Obviously, they were way up because of my 2024 Top Series 1 sales. And then I had a few days where they were lower. I had a bigger day. Wednesday this week was a better day. Ooh, yesterday sucked. Yesterday was horrible. So yeah. But I have not increased my promo rate. Like I dropped it from 12 to 8%, and I'm kind of riding that out. I think I'm going to ride that out for another few weeks until after I get back from spring training. Christian, what's up? Good morning. Kyle, good morning. Dan says that's why you buy V-necks. Are V-necks? I thought V-necks were not in. I thought that was like nobody wears V-necks anymore. Brian says, I call them McClanes after the greatest action superhero, John McClane from Die Hard. There you go. Victor, what's up? Good morning. Shane says to Brian, ouch, same thing happened to me. Spent all this time with my nephew to teach him value and condition of cards. A week later, all his cards are in a pile in his room on the floor. Wah, wah. My brother tried to teach me. My brother's 19 years older than I am. We have different moms, same dad, different moms. And my room was always a mess. And I'm sure if you've seen photos of my room, Brian Bourne's in the house. He's been to my house. He knows I'm messy. When I was a kid, it was even worse. It was kind of like the stories that we've seen in the chat. And so my brother tried to teach me. And so he said, if you keep your room clean for, I don't know, like 2 weeks with no card, because I would have cards like you couldn't see carpet. It was just cards. Fortunately, it was the junk wax era. So it's like, so if I kept my room clean for 2 weeks, he would give me a 1962 Topps Mickey Mantle card. And I don't think I kept my room clean for 2 weeks, but he did give me a 1962 Topps Mickey Mantle. And I kept it for a long time. Like I was probably 7 or 8 years old, 9 years old. And I kept it until I was in my like early 20s. And like many, when I went off to college and discovered free money from credit cards and then realized, oh shit, you got to pay this back. Then I had to sell a lot of my stuff to pay off my credit card. And the 62 Topps Mickey Mantle that my brother gave me got sold on eBay back in 2004. Brian, what's up? Good morning. Flawed Thinkers in the house. Good morning. T206 kid. Sounds like your evening last night was reminiscent of the Dundee Awards from The Office. Yes. Find a cul-de-sac, says Brian. Morning, Huddle Card Collection. Neil's in the house. Happy Friday. Porter says, but you confessed to tardiness. There you go. Is that like a get out of jail free card? Like I'm saying I'm tardy, so I'm not tardy. It's like calling in. You get in less trouble if you call in and say, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm running 30 minutes late. But if you just show up 30 minutes late, like, where the fuck have you been? Brian says, going to be a lousy day at work. I have to tour Wallersheim. Well, that sounds shitty. Neil with the Bitcoin update, 62,494. So I think it's slightly down because I think it hit 63.5 yesterday. Maybe that's why low roller scratch. Maybe he's counting his money. Brian says, one is the over under on how many Bitcoin LRS. I'm taking the under. Like I would put a lot of money. The under hits. Shane, what's going on? Shane doesn't get in the live chat very often. Not listing and shipping today, just shipping and shipping and shipping and shipping. Those are not fun days, but it's fun because of what led to the shipping. Sales. Johnny M, what's up? Good morning. Brian says the amount of baby's first briefcases at the Madison Card Show was nuts. Every pimple-faced kid had one. I kept wondering if I was missing something. A lot of kids toting around a lot of high-dollar cards. Bob Hosta, what's up? Buy the card and one touch it with a sleeve will be a great teachable moment for condition sensitivity. I like that advice because if your kid doesn't take good care of something, it's a good opportunity. Like this is worth $20, and $20 for a 6-year-old's a lot of money. Put it in a case, take good care of it, and it's a teachable moment for keeping your things in good order. Mark, good morning. Was summoned on the Hobby Evolution page to critique your outfit last night. Saw the blazer and shirt. Did you wear denim or dress slacks? I wore dress slacks. And yes, they did match the blazer. Unicorn Cupcake. My daughter knows nothing about Pokemon, but sells about $20 worth at every show so far. Very cool. Mark says, John Keating said you have no hope. LOL. I want to help. I did say that because my wife, like sometimes if I have to wear a tie, I hate wearing ties. So I didn't wear a tie last night. When I do have to wear a tie, I'll like either like have my wife like, hey, can you pick out like what matches? It's like, oh, I'm so bad. I'm not. So I'm going to have you on speed dial. Actually, I don't have to have you on speed dial because I hardly ever wear a tie. But in those rare occasions, I need to text Mark. Mark, because I've got a lot of ties. I've got why I feel like that's like a men thing. You have 100 ties and you never wear them. Why I have ties I don't even know where they came from. I think like you just get them for Christmas sometimes. Like, oh, here's a tie. Thanks. I'm never, I haven't worn a tie since 1989. Why are you buying me a tie? Flipping Sports Guy, he's got to clean because he'll be featured on MLB Network once he hits 1 million Cubs. Ooh, I like that. Who knows? I do have some news coming up. I do have some news to share. Details are in the works. Talks are being made. Things are happening. I'm going to have visitors a week from Monday that may or may not have cameras. Shane says, show your kids Ed, and Eddie, and they will be obsessed with trying to make money. Then introduce them to condition of cards and how they can be valuable if kept nice. It should work. Oh, we're going to play Name That Player. As usual, I don't have cards, so you're going to watch me try to find some cards to pick out. Should probably do that as I read some of these comments. Duke, what's up? Made my first eBay sale last night. Just $5. My wife got mad when I told her that I was paying the shipping. That's the last time I talked to her about eBay. So was it $5 plus shipping or was it $5 shipped? Just going through there. That's a decent one. Okay. Orlando's here. What's going on? Unicorn Cupcake says, let's suppose PSA offered to grade your 1 million Cubs cards. If you donated them to a museum, would you do it? That'd have to be a really big museum if they were gonna display them. Otherwise, you could fit 1 million cards in this room. But it'd be just boxes upon boxes. Would I do that? I mean, I don't want to donate my collection. If they paid me a nice sum, like I would loan parts of my collection for a museum. I'm not donating my Cubs cards. Brian says, to be fair, you have a lot of cards. The fact that you have shelving helps keep things off the floor. I'm sure your YouTube sales have helped to clear up a ton of space. Not as much as I'd like. So this is how bad it's getting. I threw away about 20,000 cards yesterday. Just tossed them. So so if you're interested, they're in my garage in the recycle bin. Or come get them off the street next Wednesday. Let's see. Andy Mack, I bought my son stickers to close his one touches. Christian says, people say that they see all the kids with the cases. How do we know they don't have 2019 Matthew Stafford cards in those cases? We don't know. If they're closed cases, we don't know. But I have kids, like I'm a dealer, and when kids come up to my booth, they'll open up their Pelican case. They're like, are you buying? I'm like, well, maybe. What do you got? And it's like a 7-year-old, and he's got I'm like, shit, this is a really good card. This is like worth more than my whole table of quarter cards. So I see what's in a lot of those cases, and some of them are base cards. But a lot of them, there's some like really good shit in there. Like, Jesus. Kyle says, my 5-year-old daughter is hypersensitive about condition of cards. Every bulk NASCAR card would go in a screw down or one touch if it was up to her. There's the Bitcoin update from Low Roller Scratcher. 1 million Cubs repacks for sale. Flawed Thinker says, I know it's just spring trading and it's not the toughest competition, but James Wood is doing good right now. I've been selling James Wood here and there. Like I've got just some base garbage. And it seems like I'm moving a few a day. 14 at bats, 7 hits, 3 home runs, 5 RBI. Excited to see if he stays hot. And he was a player that, like, as I'm sorting Bowman, do I have a stack? I thought I had a stack of James Wood, Brady House. because I think Brady House is doing well. Duke says $5 card, free shipping coming out of my pocket. It was ESE. Oh, okay. So there you go. So you probably made $3. So tell your wife you made $3. David Arnold. Is this Dave Arnold? If I offer 99-cent shipping, can I combine shipping with buy it now? If I offer 99-cent shipping, yes. You have to go into your seller hub, and it's got to be under, let's see, promotions, I think. Let me see. And so you can create a promotion and you can create a shipping discount. So you've got to go into your seller hub, shipping discount under promotions. My spell tokens investment pay off with $25. Now I make $20 profit since I have 25,000 tokens. Red Light says, what the fuck? Don't throw them away. I have to. I need the space. I need the space. I didn't try this time. I should just put up, I should put up something. The problem is when you put up these bulk lots on eBay or on Facebook, all of the messages are, have these been searched? Yes, they're all commons. Most of them are from the 80s and 90s, and then nobody wants them. Shane, he says, Chase DeLauder, save this comment. Yes, I've been setting aside Chase DeLauder as well. I've got a couple first Bowman refract. Actually, there's three first chrome refractors right on the top there. So yes, he's a guy that I've been pulling. Jordan says, who is the hottest card in your store right now? Oh man, see, that's kind of a tough question to answer because I have such a variety. James Wood has been movie. I wonder if there's a way to, is there a way, does anybody know how to like search your, like, I wish there was a way to like, I wonder if you can do this. Orders, all orders. So you can do, so let's just say you can go into all orders, manage all orders by this week. We can do this week. And then we can download a report. Okay, so this week we're going to download the report. I don't know. We'll see if this works. Creating my report. Come on, eBay. Okay, it's ready. So we're going to open the spreadsheet. All right, so let's see. Oh, wow. It actually has buyer addresses. Interesting. And wow, phone number. I didn't realize your phone number was attached to eBay. Interesting. So buyer username, order number. Come on. I want to see the item. It doesn't even have the item. This is just like buyer information. Well, fuck. Just says order number, buyer username, buyer name. Let's see, buyer note. Well, shit. All right, so there's got to. Oh wait. Oh, item title. Oh, so it has item title, but it doesn't have like player name, team. Doesn't have like the specifics broken down. So yeah, this is not. If we could do it by like player name, if there's a report that we could get by that. And so this is also going to be skewed because like I sold, like Robin Yount would probably be high in my ranking because I sold to one buyer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that was a 17 card Robin Yount order. So Robin Yount might be high up there. James Wood, let's just see how many James Wood in this week. Okay, so there's Yount. Wood. So James Wood doesn't come up, but it's got to be anyway. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of a tough question. So I do have the question: if anybody knows, if there's a way to like drill down, like if you could create a report from eBay based on like specifics, like okay, team, player. If I had time, I would try to figure that out, but it's not really a priority. So this is from manage all orders. I wonder if there's a way to include certain fields. I don't know. Anyway, if anybody knows, let me know. Uncle Rich, what's up? We'll skip my usual spiel, but you all know what to do. Like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Johnny M says, since I stopped offering best offer on new listings $2 and under, I have a big uptick in 5+ card sales, 9 in the last week. Used to get 2 to 3 at most. Interesting. I love these observations. Unicorn Cupcake says Low Roller Scratcher bought more spell tokens. Bogdanoff, dump it. Low Roller Scratcher has diamond hands on spell tokens. Since I am greedy, I got to sell. Target price is 50 cents. It will be 12.5K. Let's see. Where are we at? Max says, you don't make anything until you sell. One thing you meathead crypto fucks don't understand. I have crypto. Not very much. Let's see. Where are we at? We're just going to skip all that talk. I agree with this comment, though. Shane says, very small percent of human population understands crypto. Absolutely. I have very small crypto. And it's fun. It's just play money. I know. I'm just joking, Max. So before we play Name That Player, I want to talk about non-card people and observations from conversations about cards from people that are not in it. So a lot of my wife's coworkers are not, I guess they're kind of coworkers. They're in the same office. You know, they know I sell baseball cards out of the basement. So the questions are like some of the questions I get. So like, what do you do? Like, do you have like one of my former coworkers, we went to a Badger game last year, and he's like, do you like have enough business to like keep you busy? And I'm like, yeah. I work twice as many hours as I did here. So it's like, so what's like your day like? And I'm like, well, it's a lot of shipping. It's a lot of listing. It's a lot of sorting. It's a lot of picking up my messes. So that's a common question I get. And really that's not just that's from card people as well. Like people that are in cards but don't do it full time are like, so what do you do? One of the big questions from non-card people though is, so like I thought they like made a whole bunch and they're worthless now. And it's kind of a smattering. So like it seems like half the people still have that mindset. And it took about 20 years, 25 years for people to figure out their cards from the 80s and 90s were worthless. And then they were told enough times that they're worthless. And now they think everything is worthless. And it's like, well, probably, but maybe. So I get that. Like, so I thought I thought they were worthless. I'm like, well, most of them from like our childhood, yes, they are worthless. And then of course there's like, oh, I see like when COVID hit, it went crazy. And it's kind of like there's that meme, like, this is what my mom thinks I do. This is what my friends think I do. This is what I actually do. And I think that's kind of like in card. Like some people think like cards are worthless. Some people think cards like, do you have any Ryan Sandberg cards? I'm like, I got a lot. Like, really? How much are they worth? They think my collection's worth like $50 million because I have 3 million baseball cards. So those are some of the fun things that that are talked about. And like I think we in the hobby take for granted how small and niche our world really is, because most people, there was some, I wanted to share something, just an opinion that I had based on something that I read the other day, and I can't remember what it was. Oh man, what was it? I can't remember. But like some of the comments, like somebody said, I didn't even know they still made baseball cards. Oh, one thing that I see, some collectors complain that there's too many products. And the same complaints were being made 30 years ago. And really 35 years ago. Go back to the late 80s and Score comes on. Oh my God, we've got 4 products, because it used to be Tops. And then Fleer and Donruss entered the game. And then we had some off-brand Sport Flicks, and then Score in 88, and then Upper Deck in 89, Leaf in 90. And all of a sudden, oh my God, we've got too many products. That was like 5. It's all relative. So that's what I was talking with one of the guys, and he's like, so like, what brands are there? Like, what's like, who makes, like, who's the card company that makes it? It's like, well, Tops, they're owned by Fanatics. So it's just interesting gathering this insight from non-card, because I really don't talk to non-card people about cards. Because when I go out to events, like usually when I'm around other people, it's at card shows. Like that's the only time I go out. When I go out and have beers, it's usually with my friend Mark, who's in cards and in Facebook groups and goes to card shows. So like, I need to get out more. I think that's what this boils down to. I just need to get out more around like taking a break from cards. But it is interesting to gain some of these insights from somebody that's not in the world. And so somebody's like, I'll have to have you come over and look at my cards. And I know exactly probably what they have, because they're like my age. They're like, I think he's 2 years younger than me. So it's going to be pretty similar. So I'm like most things in the 80s and 90s are going to be worthless. But if you get into the mid 90s, some of the basketball, there's some rare stuff that could be really, really valuable, but it's also really rare. That's part of the value. And that was something that somebody had asked. It's like, so does rarity drive price? And I'm like, not really. You can have, it's all supply and demand. Like there can be something super rare, but if nobody wants it, if it's a one-of-one Shohei Ohtani, people want that. If it's a one-of-one John Lieber, there's probably going to be less of a demand. I say John Lieber because I found from the 90s, like a Pacific Los, like serial number out of 99 of John Lieber in a Cubs box that I was going through. It's like, oh, wow, this is actually pretty cool. So it's interesting. It's interesting to have these conversations. Let's go to the chat. Where are we at? Shane says it's hard to explain your workload when you turn a hobby into a business. It is. And it's really like, what do you do? Well, I ship and I list and I list and I ship and I ship and then I sort and then I pick up my mess. And it's like, how do you know? And like card people will say, well, how do you know what cards are worth? And often I don't. And that's why you have to look up comps. Sometimes I just price stuff and I'm wrong. And it's like, oh, wow, that sold really fast. Oh, shit, it's a $20 card that sold for $1.50. Oops. Live and learn. You ship the card, and then the next time you see one, you price it appropriately. So sometimes you just don't know, but usually I have a pretty good idea. Like these Chase DeLauder first chrome refraction. I don't know what they run, but I'm not going to put them in my quarter box. Sorry, James. They're not going in my quarter box. Sometimes I'll pull like this Leody Tavares Leaf Trinity rookie. Basically, any modern rookie or modern auto in my eBay store goes for $5. Like I'll list it for $5. Like that probably goes for $5. And I usually don't comp a lot of that stuff. But sometimes I do comp stuff. What's this? Oh, schedule. Unicorn Cupcake wants to know if Low Roller Scratcher is in the USA. He does live in the USA. Flawed Thinker says, I think I found either a big collector or prospector of Colt Keith. He just posted for sale 19 Bowman First autos, all PSA 10s, consisting of 4 refractors, 3 blue, 1 green, 7 gold, 4 orange, asking $8.9K. Interesting. Kyle says, it's funny how people ask you how much your cards are worth. Isn't it? Like, it's like, and I try to dodge that question and say, well, my favorite card or my oldest card. And of course, that just leads into even more questions about value. It's like, so what's your most valuable card? And I'm like, well, I've got a lot of like nice cards. I've got, some 1-of-1s. I've got Ernie Banks rookie. My favorite cards, my oldest cards are from the 1800s. What are they worth? Like, I don't know. What's your house worth? How much did you pay for your house? If you said you sold automotive parts, they would not ask how much your inventory is worth. Right. What do? I sell radiators. What's your most expensive radiator? Let's see. Max to Flawed Thinker. There are tons of big prospectors out there that have that king of stash of 20 to 30 guys, especially with a bigger name like Keith. Let's see. Low Roller Scratcher to Max. Your 401k portfolio will be investing crypto anyway. You probably don't know about it. See? He's teaching you, Max. Dystemic, what's up? Week and a half. I need more time. March 12th. I'll be flying out to spring training. And I said after last week, I'm like, the next 2 weeks are going to be calm. And then I can get prepared for spring training. Guess what I'm not doing right now? Getting prepared for spring training. Trying to get shit cleaned up for photos. I've got a card show March 9th at Kane County Fairgrounds, St. Charles, Illinois. March 11th, the day before I fly out to spring training, I have a film crew coming to the house. So I've got to get everything cleaned up. It's like, Brian, you want to come over and help me clean? Let's see. Max says, I know exactly what's in my investment funds. Worked in the investment industry for 7 years, but thanks. Take that, Low Roller Scratcher. Talking to non-card people about cards is frustrating. I try to avoid it. Some of the same, like, what's your most expensive card? That annoys me. But it is, I like getting in the head of a non-card collector from a sales standpoint. Like, how do you market? We know how to market to us, to card people, right? We always reference the 10X. Fanatics wants to 10X the hobby. You likely don't like what they're doing to 10X the hobby. Why? Because you're not the target. They've already got you. To 10X, they've got to get not you. They've got to think like the people I talked to last night that didn't know cards were still made. That's who they're trying to go after. So when they're teaming up with people that you don't like, that's why. Because they want to get. And how do you do it? Well, you have to go out and you have to talk to these non-card people. So I like it from that standpoint. It's like, okay, how do I market to non-card people? And that's why I like putting, like, one simple thing is putting baseball card in the title of eBay. When grandma wants to search for a Chase DeLauder card, well, he wants a Chase DeLauder baseball card. That's what you're going to search, Chase DeLauder baseball card. But we card people, that's not what we're going to search. So you got to think, I don't like buzzwords, but you got to think outside the box, outside the card box. So that's why I do like talking to non-card people, as long as it's like a a discussion that we can gain some knowledge, not about talking about our collections and how much they're worth. Flawed Thinker says, Keith has just been under the radar for me, so I was surprised to see that many for sale out of nowhere. Unicorn Cupcake says, at what price will you sell the Bitcoin? That's a good question. Low roller scratcher. How much? Max says, gotcha. Yeah, Keith has been creeping up well the last year or two. Low roller is going to wait until it hits $1 million per coin. What if it doesn't reach that price? Great follow-up question. Low roller says Bitcoin will reach $1 million per coin. It probably happened in 2030. You heard BlackRock and other big institutions are buying all Bitcoin. Shane says March Madison show is now in my plans. Are you setting up? I don't think so. The third room is going to be open. The State Street Ballroom will be open once again, 175 tables. So I'm out. So it's just that third room is way too much additional work for me to balance setting up and running the show. Let's see. Where are we at? Dystemic says, I dug out a stack of Cubs. Brian says, I'll help you clean if I can dig through card boxes. You bet. Absolutely. Big Institutional are running Bitcoin supply. Unicorn Cupcake says, I'm sorry I have maxed out my crypto pontification time for the day. Flawed Thinker says, my mom knows nothing about cards, but since she goes to flea markets and garage sales all the time, she will send me a photo of 90s junk wax asking if it's worth anything. I know my mom does the same thing because she loves going to flea markets and antique stores, and she'll find like the mystery packs for $1 and it's 91 Fleer. And it's like, she's like, is there anything good? And I'm like, nothing is good from the 80s and 90s, but she doesn't know like what 80s and 90s are. And she'll text me, there's a bunch of vintage unopened packs. And of course, like my first inkling is, oh, send me pictures. And then it's pictures of 92 Donruss. And I'm like, oh, she's like, it's really old. And I'm like, I know. Thanks anyway. Johnny M says, you think that's frustrating? Try talking to non-crypto people about crypto. There you go. Brian says, be sure to put a lot of emojis in your listings to help with the sales. Let's see. Johnny M says, Bitcoin will probably go over 100K. That's interesting. Shane says, so if Fanatics wants to 10x the hobby, are they going to make products and sets as with more people in the hobby or mass produce cards again like in the 80s to keep up with demand? That's a great question. I don't know. What will they do? What is they want to 10x the hobby? I don't think we know what that really means. Was that ever? And have they, I think people like on YouTube talk about it all the time, but I don't know, has Fanatics really doubled down on that statement? Like, I think it was just kind of in passing, and then all of a sudden everybody took it for gospel, and now it's just this thing. But I am curious. The statement was said, and I'm curious what the grand plan would be. Okay, so you want to 10x the hobby. What does that mean? Do you want to 10x the amount of people buying cards? Do you want to 10x your bottom line? Do you want to 10x the production? What are we 10xing? I guess is my first question. And then the follow-up is, how do you get there? Does that mean 10xing the production? If that doesn't mean what it means. Flawed Thinker says, the kids are away at their grandparents this weekend, so I think I'm going to take most of the singles out of my store and pull a Paul Carl cards and relist them as lots to test out. There you go. And I love it. Thank you, Paul. I love people selling lots because that's less competition for me in the singles market. So I want more people to sell lots. Because then you can come in like the person that bought 17 Robin Younts out of my store this week and keep my singles game moving. Dystemic says, my dad was at an antique mall in Arizona a couple years ago and told me he bought me something, a box of 91 Donruss. Nice memory, though, because on a family RV trip in the South in 91, every RV park store had it. So I bought a ton and he remembered. That's cool. That's cool. Let's see. Max says, I'd assume 10X is the market cap. It's Ruben talking. 10X the screw ups, says George. Brian says 10X the money. It's always the money. 10X the transparency of the uniforms. So there you go. Let's play a little name that player. Let's play a little name that player. Of course, I'm ill prepared. So fortunately, I just have cards coming out of everywhere. So we're gonna do this. It's a good point by Shane. If you want to 10X the money, you would need more people. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. So we're going to do a little history today. Oh, man, some of these are really good. We got to save some for next week, though. Let's see. We'll probably just keep this baseball-centric today since we are in spring training. That's a good one. That's too random. You know what? I'm going to use this one because it's kind of fun. We'll do him. Who else do we got in here? Some of these are like super easy. So I don't want to do super easy, but I don't want to do hard either. All right, we already got him. All right, how many do I have in my stack? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's only 8. We got to do more than 8. We'll do 10 this week. Oh, we got to use that one. We're going to do some Cubs. Find one more. We'll do 11. We'll do one more. Let's throw the scoreboard on. Max has a couple hard ones. Won't hurt. The problem with the hard ones, though, is it drags on. I like that. Oh, these were my dollar pickups that I got a list. Okay. All right. So I think this is enough. We've got some Cubs in here. All right. Name that player. Let's see. Where we at? Matt Like, what's up? I saw Matt this weekend at the Madison Card Show. This is the first Name That Player episode I've been able to catch in many months. Welcome back. I should have thrown a Hawkeye in here. Shane says there will never be enough legit breakers who can be trusted to ever 10X that part of the hobby. That is true. All right. I don't have any football around me. All right. So first up, Cubs. Go Cubs. Try to get that close. Who is this? Chicago Cubs. It is not May. It is not Amaya. It is not Castro. We've got a winner. It is Max got it. Fred McGriff. Max. Fred McGriff. So where's my Cubs pile? Put him back in my Cubs pile. You know it's Sports Card. What's going on? Let's see. Max, 26 points. Max, remember, won the last round, and he got the trophy. All right. Let's go to non-sport. So this probably will be a little more difficult. This is from the Topps Heritage set from 2009. 2 men, one with a mustache, one balding. Matt Like nailed it. Wow, you guys knew it. It is Orville and Wilbur, the Wright brothers. Wow. Multiple people knew that. And here I thought that was going to be a tough one. Oh, Matt was the first one. Adam Silver. Let's see. Matt. So that's your first point of the new round, I think. All righty. Let's go back to baseball. Back to baseball. Oh, Matt said they lived in Iowa for a while. Who is this? This is like in grade school when your teacher would throw in like, we just learned about this at the beginning of class, and you guys picked up on it. It is Wood, James Wood. We talked about James Wood at the beginning of class today. Matt, once again. Matt, he's got that fast speed internet over in Iowa. 2 points today for Matt. All right. And we got to move him up the scoreboard. Oh, sometimes I can't see the cursor. There we go. Oh, we got to take that one down. There we go. All right. So let's see. We did James Wood. Let's see. We'll do another baseball. Okay, this is tough. This is probably going to be the toughest one today. I don't think anybody's going to get this one. I'm going to have to give a clue. This is from 2013 Panini Prism Perennial Draft Picks. This player, I don't think he ever played in the majors. I'm pretty certain about that. Never played in the majors, but I believe he is. I believe he is like a sports writer or maybe like on TV. He is in he's still in. He works in baseball, but for the media. All right. Let's see. I don't think we have a correct answer yet. We don't. He was in the Tigers organization. Matt Like. Wow, Matt. I didn't even have to give the clue that it's Justin's brother. Ben Verlander. Ben Verlander. Matt Like with the point. Matt, 3 for 3. All right, where are we at? So I think that was probably going to be the toughest one today. We got to move Matt up here. All right. Next up, let's go back to history. Get your history books out. Let's see. History. Another from the Topps Heritage set. A revolutionary hero. Let's see. Immortalized as, quote, the first to defy, the first to die. We got a winner. Uncle Rich. It is Crispus, a tux. Uncle Rich with the point. And let's see. Uncle Rich, you have now tied Dan, Korean Cardboard, at 6 points. All right. Next up, we go back to baseball. This might be kind of a tough one because this is a minor league card. Topps Heritage Minor League. I'll give it a wow. Flipping Sports Guy needed no time. I'm like, I'll give it some time. I'll give you the team name. It is Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole. Flipping Sports Guy, the fastest fingers on that one. Nice variety of our winning guessers today. Flipping Sports Guy, where are we at? Where's Flipping Sports Guy? Oh, you're way up there. That's 19 points. Max and Flipping Sports Guy, way up top. All right, next up, we'll do another baseball. We might have done him last week. Diamondbacks. Corbin Carroll is correct. Flipping Sports Guy. Corbin Carroll, Flipping Sports Guy. Back to back. And he's catching up to Max. Max, that Rapids internet isn't very fast today. Where are we at? All right. 4 more to go. Let's see. Okay, we'll do this. This should be an easy one for you. Colorado Rockies. Story is correct. Matt Like, I think. Yes, Matt Like was the fastest. Matt, you're up to 4 points all today. Matt is now moving up the board. And let's see, where does that put you? Ooh, right behind Uncle Rich in a tie with Harlan. All right. Matt says 7 more weeks and I'll be in first. All right, let's see. Let's go to, all right, we'll do, I'm going to save that one for last. So we'll do this one. We'll do history and then a couple baseball. Yeah, usually your comments on your screen will show up before the others. American inventor. Carver is correct. Uncle Rich. George Washington Carver. There you go. So Uncle Rich moves up. And you have now tied Card Hobbyist with 7 points. Oh, what happened there? There we go. Rich, there we go. All right. 2 more left. Uncle Rich says, keep those old people coming. Your wish. Oh, man. All right. I did not prepare for this. All right. So we've got to double cover this one because of the facsimile sig. Let's see how I need 2 hands. All right. Who is this? There. I think that's going to be, there you go. 1967 tops. It is not Alu. Dave Arnold. Yes. Dave Arnold. You were the fastest fingers. It's Adolfo Phillips. You had to double cover with that. He's got a sig you can read. Dave Arnold is on the board. And we've got one more. One more, but it's old is just depends. All right. So there we go. All right. This one's for Brian Bourne. Who is this guy? That probably gave it away. This is a pretty easy one. You just have to have fast fingers here. All-time Diamond Kings with an airbrushed hat. Flipping Sports Guy. That one's from Brian Bourne. Nolan Ryan. Nope, I put Adolfo in the wrong pile. Ooh, Flawed Thinker says overrated. Where we at? Flipping Sports Guy got that one. So Flipping Sports Guy making a run on Max. So that was the last one for today, and we've got Max holding on to that 5-point lead, 26-21 over Flipping Sports Guy. I missed Joe Trotto with 9, Uncle Rich 7, Card Hobbyist 7, Dan Korean Cardboard has 6, Matt Like today with 4 points, Harlan with 4, Porter has 3, Huddle Card Collection, Merle, That 70s Card Show, and Tom Gibson also have 3 points apiece. Jordan Brown, Philly Joe, and Flawed Thinker have 2. And with 1 point each, Mark Marinello, Christian, Brian Bourne, Diego, Michael Renicky, SoCal Guy 1967, Neil, Scotty Dubs, who I saw at the Madison Card Show on Saturday, Dak T-Mac Fan, Spam Likely, and Dave Arnold with his first point today, getting Adolfo Phillips. All righty. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Link in the description. I will go live Saturday and Sunday this weekend. I will go live at probably 8:30 a.m. Central Time. So, see you then. All right. Have a great Friday. Back at it tomorrow morning. Have a great Friday. Land the plane, damn it. Just land the plane. See you tomorrow.